Hello. It is the fourth day of Inktober. Inktober 4th, in fact. And I'm Danny Gregory. I am working my way through all of the prompts that the Inktober organization has provided. So far we've done mustache, weave, and crown, and today the prompt is murky. And I will say in more than one sense of the word. Not only is the prompt literally the word murky, but it's been murky in my mind. I've been thinking about it since yesterday when I did finished up my last prompt. I was thinking, what the hell do I do with murky? And I had a bunch of different ideas. I was like, do I do like some creature from the Black Lagoon emerging from the water? It didn't feel like something I really wanted to draw. And then I thought, do I be really clever and like reinterpret the word murky to mean something completely different? But that didn't really strike me as the right thing to do either. So, yeah. I see that Sinan is here from Istanbul. Welcome. Nice to see you. Yeah, so I've been thinking about murky quite a bit and did some experiments. Wasn't really happy with anything, and so I decided I'm just gonna jump in and try something. I don't know. I don't really have a clear idea. Maybe you've been wrestling with the same thing. This is just the first prompt in this series that I'm just like I'm murky about it. So there's nothing to do but to do it. So let's just get into it and start doing it. So I think I'm just going to do another portrait. This is kind of all I've been doing is portraits. But you will notice that I am working outside of my sketchbook today. I'm working on another piece of paper that I'm going to then paste into my sketchbook. And that's because I'm going to be working with my dip pen, and I want to get a little messy, and I wanted to use a different kind of paper. So the paper that I have in my regular sketchbook it's just slightly absorbent, and I want to use some Bristol. So this is Bristol paper, and I kind of put it on some brown paper so I don't get ink all over my table. But I kind of felt like I was going to get messy. Hussein says, creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah, I thought about things like that. Yeah, as I said, I don't know, swamps. So I just decided I'm just going to make it look murky. So I'm thinking murky in the sense of, like blurry, out of focus, that kind of thing. I've been doing a lot of cross-hatching, and I thought I was just going to do something that's more messy and murky. So we'll see. I'm not sure whether it's going to be good, but that's part of the kind of deal, right? So, yeah. So I'm going to just do a portrait. Just kind of draw a person. So, yeah, just going to figure it out as we go. So forgive me if I don't talk a lot now, because I'm really just kind of thinking and waiting for inspiration to strike me. So that's what my brain is doing rather than thinking of what clever things I can say to you. This is a process of building up layers, hoping that they become more coherent as I go. So we'll see. So I'm also using this gel pen, which to me is ink. I don't know, maybe I'll get a flag for the violation of using a white pen. I don't know. It's not called black Inktober, so I figured I could use some white. And I'm using some Sumi ink as well as India ink. So Sumi ink is kind of not as intense as the India ink, and it's kind of warmer. So this white pen is kind of letting me reclaim some of the white paper that was kind of lost under the ink. But I'm also trying to do it delicately because I want to be subtle with it. I don't want to make it white again. And I also don't want to make it too flat. I like having this texture of this white in there. Sounds like scratch board or something. This is sort of like cross-hatching or hatching in reverse. I've been doing a lot of hatching in these drawings so far, and doing white hatching on black is sort of a variation that's kind of cool. Honestly, I'm not really thinking. I'm not really making very many decisions. It's just kind of happening. So, let's See if that's a good thing when I'm done. But I'm enjoying it. That's kind of what all I care about right now. I like this cool, hypnotic, vintage 70s vibes. It's true. It does have that kind of feeling of, I don't know, maybe it's because it reminds me of like something you did in high school. But Aspa, sorry I didn't see your comment. So today's prompt from Inktober was Murky. So this is Murky, or at least it's my version of Murky. As I was saying at the very beginning, I was kind of murky on this whole prompt, and I kind of was like, do I do a subject that feels murky? In fact, at one point I was going to do a drawing of just this bottle of dirty, inky water, thinking, oh, that could be murky. But then I thought, you know what, I just really don't want to do a drawing of a bottle of dirty water. So yes, that might fulfill the assignment, but I don't really care. So I just decided to wing it. And that's basically what I'm doing, winging it. And I'm using some Bristol paper just because I knew things were going to get, layered. I knew I was going to do layering stuff. So I needed to get a paper that could take a beating. But also I didn't want it to be absorbent, because I want the ink to be able to smear. If your paper's too absorbent, your ink is not going to smear. So And I've had that problem often enough. When I didn't want it to smear, it did smear. So I thought, oh, I can use this to my advantage and actually make it smear. So. All right, it's looking a little out of balance, so let me just do a bit more work on this background here. So this sumi ink that's diluted is kind of effective at knocking it back. So at first it'll look really dark, but then it'll, as it dries, it gets kind of more brownish gray almost. So it's more transparent. So you can layer it, and at first it'll seem like it's going to completely cover over whatever's underneath it, but then it doesn't, and it becomes, well, murky, for lack of a better word. The ink isn't covering it because it's sumi ink. So sumi ink is, and it's diluted. So at first it seems like it's going to cover it, but then as it dries, it becomes more transparent. So that's why you're still able to see the gel pen coming through it. I mean, I just invented that, discovered it. So I don't know. Results may vary, but it seems to be working for me. is actually pure India ink that I'm doing now, so I'm hoping, because these white marks are starting to bug me a bit, and I'm hoping that this knocks it back a bit. I don't know. Anyway, it's an interesting experiment. I'm not sure that I think it's the world's greatest thing, but it's murky. It is murky. Take off those corners. Yeah, it's something. All right. Well, tomorrow is going to be deer. Deer. So we're going to draw Bambi. What are we going to do with deer? Deer. I've drawn deers. I used to have a few deer heads, taxidermy deer heads. And I drew those quite often. I don't know if I want to do that, but let's think about deer. We've got the rest of the day thinking about deer. Thinking about, I don't know. I think I've done drawings I've liked better during Inktober, but that's okay. That is part of the process, right? So, yeah. Murky. All right, well, I hope you have a pleasant Saturday. And if you have yet to do your drawing for Inktober, please share it when you do, here on YouTube or wherever you want to. Put hashtag Inktober on it so that everybody can see it. And yeah, it is what it is. I sound like I'm full of regret. I'm not. This is one of those drawings that like I'll put aside and then I'll come back in a day or two and I'll have a different feeling about it. So it's also difficult sometimes when you do a portrait, kind of made up portrait, you know, where you're not really observing exact what the features will be like, but yeah, it's good. Thanks, have a great day, and I'll see you possibly tomorrow when we do this all over again. Bye-bye.